I'm not going to lie to myself anymore. I haven't been enjoying doing these movies reviews. One of the reasons might be because, well, I've been taking all my notes on this thing. And tonight someone actually, for the first time ever in a year, surprisingly, tapped me and told me to turn it off. I'm surprised because it took someone a year to do that. But here's what I say about these movie notes I took for The Hobbit. Let's try doing the movie review without that. Let's try doing, for the second half of the movie, I just sat there and I focused on the movie. You don't like my review, just like I told the people who watch my ski videos, so what? You don't like them. Too bad. Yeah, so a lot of people don't like certain critics. So here we go with the Desolation of Smaug review. Now, how am I going to know the character names and everything? That's the other interesting thing I'm going to be doing. I'm going to have the website. So if you see me looking at something like this, it's because I'm looking at the website. I may not be looking at the camera. But this is going to hopefully provide me so that I don't say any characters' names wrong, and I can tell you who the actors are, and I can give you a good review. And if this doesn't work, then I'm going to stop doing reviews. So it's this or nothing. Now that I've updated you on that, let's get to the review of The Hobbit. Now, I don't know what I'm going to rate this just yet. I've been thinking about it. This also, by the way, what I'm doing will probably cut down on the spoilers and the plot. I don't think I'll have to say the plot at all, to be honest. So, if you look at the website, it reads like this. The three films tell note this one. The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug continues the adventure of the title character, Bilbo Baggins, as he journeys with the wizard Gandalf and 13 dwarves, led by Thorin of Oakenshield. Sorry, I thought it was going to be Thorin of Oakenshield, but apparently not. On an epic quest to reclaim the Lonely Mountain and the lost dwarf kingdom of Erebor. Let's see. I should probably start doing my review now. It starts by saying, well, Desolation of Smaug, and let me tell you that I was a little worried that Smaug would be underused in this, but he's not. At the end of the movie, when Smaug comes into play, or I shouldn't say the end, but at the point of the movie where he comes into play, first it's just him and Bilbo, and then the big battle begins, and just when you think it's all over, it keeps going. And those of you who stay to the end of the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. I mean, those of you who go to the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it's got this big twist ending. If you've read the book, then you already know. It's been a long time since I read the Hobbit book, so I really can't compare this movie all too much to it, except certain points. Like I remember the battle with him and Gollum. Anyway, it goes on to say, having survived the beginning of the unexpected journey, company travels east, encountering along the way a skin changer Bairn. Now, this was interesting, this character. I'll have to tell you who portrayed him in a minute. Bairn is a half man, half bear person who really is underutilized, if you ask me. But that would be a story critique, so I'm technically critiquing the book if I do that. Unless he did show up more in the book, and not enough in here. Still, when he's in his bear form, the night that some orcs try to attack, it is very good. That he's like there defending them, even though he generally doesn't like dwarves. Let's see, what else do they have to face? The next thing is a swarm of giant spiders. All you arachnophobia people out there, get ready for that part. It's in the treacherous forests of Mirkwood that this happens. And they actually get to this point pretty quick into the movie. I'm talking like no more than half an hour in. Lonely Mountain itself, gender of it all. What they don't mention here is they don't mention the escape from the elves. I want to see. I want to see if they have. You know, if I just look at the cast and crew now, I'll be able to tell you. Basically, it's a whole nother tribe of elves, not the one we're used to. Although we do meet Legolas, that's his name. We do meet Legolas in this movie at long last. Legolas is one of the doesn't say what he is. It's just about the actor. Okay. Whatever tribe of elves he's from captures them. Captures the whole group of 7 dwarves and the Hobbit. Bilbo. I'm sorry, Bilbo is, my bad. Bilbo is not captured. The seven dwarves are, and Bilbo ends up setting them free. Oh, that was a spoiler. Yeah, but that's only a few minutes in. That's only after the forest. That's actually not that far in the movie. What's another one of these characters? Oh. There's no picture of Benedict Cumberbatch as Smaug. Let me talk about Smaug for a minute. Smaug is actually really cool in this, and I still don't really like, believe it or not, Martin Freeman's acting in this movie so much. I know, but the fact is that his portrayal of the character Bilbo is spotty at best. I don't know if spotty is the right word. I mean, he's doing whatever the actor just like I mentioned with the actor for Katniss bringing Katniss down, or the books bringing Katniss down. It seems like Martin Freeman is kind of bringing Bilbo's character down. Hey, I'm a critic. That's my job to do. Ian McKellen as Gandalf. Well, Gandalf doesn't show up all too much in this movie because of something that happens at the beginning. I won't tell you where he goes off to fight a necromancer. I won't tell you more than that, especially since that battle's not over yet. I shouldn't have said that. Okay. As far as the IMAX 3D, though, let me stop and take a break and say that the IMAX 3D not so good. IMAX definitely helps. Great sound, mixing, everything. All the technical stuff was completed very well. Ian McKellen, as far as portraying Gandalf, I like Gandalf more in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. In this, so far, he's sort of been more of a Dumbledore character. So I'm not exactly thrilled by Dumbledore showing up. These movies were very much so like Harry Potter. Martin Freeman, that's what I'll describe you as. Martin Freeman is trying to portray basically a Harry Potter version of Bilbo Baggins. Thorin Oakenshield, he's got his ups and downs in the first movie. You know that. He's got even more ups and downs in this movie. More high points, more low points. Although the low points aren't as low. You'll know what I'm talking about in the first movie. You know, he's trusting Bilbo now, but they still have some issues towards the end of the movie. I won't say what. Smaug talked about that. Orlando Bloom was the one who played Legolas, and great acting there, of course. Evangeline Lilly as Toriel. This is interesting. I do want to talk about this. there's a little love interest here going on between L'Oreal and one of the dwarves, and that's what I was asking for sooner. Let me just tell you that Thranduil by Lee Pace, I didn't like the character, and the acting was great, but I didn't like the character. But back to the romance thing. You know, unfortunately, they don't have photos of the dwarves, which is interesting. They should definitely have that. Which means I'm not going to be able to tell you which of... Looks like it's not even showing up here. Keeley. Bingo. So, it's Keeley who kind of falls in love with Toriel. And she really is... She's one of she's the elf that's like looking to change things in this movie, basically. Not even Legolas is doing that, just Toriel. Legolas starts to do it towards the end when he goes after her because she's going after Keeley, but Aidan Turner is the actor for Keeley. Really great job. Keeley, easily my favorite character. Followed close behind by Toriel, but I like Keeley the best. And of course, putting aside the fact that he's a bad guy, Smaug would actually have to be my favorite character. And as far as the plot of this movie went, it was delivered very well, and there were funny moments, there were ups, and they were mostly ups. There were a couple of downers on this, but I don't want to go into too much detail about what those would be, because that's something I'm trying to not do in my movie reviews anymore, is spoil the plot. I may say things here or there, but I've left out pretty much everything. I've mentioned there's a twist at the end. I've mentioned there's a love going on between two people. I've met between Talia and Keeley. I've mentioned Bilbo is not acting all that great in this movie. Thanks to Martin Freeman. I don't know why. I've mentioned that Gandalf is more like Dumbledore in this movie. What else can I say? I will get better with these movie reviews once. Oh yeah, I'm gonna still put it in the tags and everything, but you know, who made this movie basically? We've got Peter Jackson, director, producer, and screenwriter. Oh, okay. So that means he wrote the script, he produced the movie, and he directed it. That's interesting. Oh, but he wasn't the only producer and screenwriter. We also got Frank Walsh. But Peter Jackson, we've seen him direct a whole bunch of stuff. He directed, if I'm correct... No, I'm thinking of Percy Jackson, my bad. The funny thing is one of these guys, one of the actors actually comes from Percy Jackson. What I'm looking for is who exactly made this movie. I'll just put it in the tags. I've said enough for this movie, and I'll get better at the movie reviews because this is the way I'm going to be doing movie reviews from now on, not reading off of something. I'm just going to have to practice my delivery. But I haven't given you a rating yet, and honestly, I don't know. No, I think I'm going to give The Hobbit the same thing as I gave it last year, a 9.